everyone, Ivy Lee Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I'm going to go through the heroes of Season 4, all new heroes that are legendary. Let's take a look at their skills. Thank you to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring today's video. Dragonheir is my favorite sponsor because it's my favorite game I've played in such a long time. I really enjoy the graphics. They really knocked it out of the park with the new heroes of this season. We are on to Season 4, new season, new heroes, and new Otherworld. There's some really killer bosses this time around, and I hope you guys will enjoy. If you haven't already checked out Dragonheir, be sure to download using my link in the description or the pinned comment. It's available on Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games. Yes, so simple as that. I'm gonna go through each legendary hero, read their skills and the inspirations to go along with them. This is gonna be with no commentary, no extra fluff, just simply reading the skills. There's probably a couple typos or whatever here and there. Keep in mind this is the test server, so everything is subject to change when it does go for the global of the start of Season 4, depending on what server you're on and when you start Season 4, or get access to these heroes. Also, I will do a video for the epics and the rares, but this one is just the legendary. We have Pikeston, a burn DPS hero, fire element. His aura is enlightenment. Increases all allies' enlightenment by 90 in City of Trials battles. Passive. Deals 100% attack fire damage to nearby enemies every 3 seconds, with up to a 100% chance to inflict burn on them for 10 seconds. When any target is inflicted with burn, the hero gains morale, up to 20 stacks. When possessing 20 stacks, grants 20 stacks of morale to all burn allies. Burn. Invokes explosion at the carrier's position every 10 seconds, consuming 1 stack of burn and dealing 140% attack fire derivative damage to the carrier and surrounding enemies. Burn can add up to 10 stacks. Morale. Each stack of morale increases attack by 1%. The battle skill deals 240% attack and 3000% enlightenment fire damage to nearby enemies. When hitting enemies with burn, next battle skill recharge time is reduced by 50%. The ultimate deals 450% attack fire damage to all enemies with a up to 100% chance to inflict burn for 10 seconds. When hitting enemies under burn, additionally deals a 600% attack derivative fire damage to them. Inspirations displayed here on the screen. Inspiration 1, damage dealt to enemies with a shield is increased by 20%. Inspiration 2, when dealing damage to an enemy for every 15% of the target's max HP over that of the hero, the damage dealt will increase by 1%, up to 12%. Inspiration 3, enlightenment plus 60. Inspiration 4, attack plus 30%. And Inspiration 5 ignores 35% of the target's resistance. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP defense and attack by 8%. We have Majtan, a burn hero, fire element. We have an attack aura, increases all allies' attack by 45% in Grand Gladiator Arena battles. The passive deals 250% fire damage to all enemies as the battle starts, with a 100% chance of inflicting 3 stacks of burn for 10 seconds. When burn inflicted on any enemy expires or is dispelled, the hero gains 1 stack of sparkle, up to 30 stacks. For each stack of sparkle, the hero gains 0.5% damage reduction, while the hero's skill ignores 3% of the target's defense. There's a 60% chance for a basic attack to inflict burn for 10 seconds. Battle skill. The hero gains 25% max HP healing. The enemy who possesses the most stacks of burn grants the same amount of sparkle to the hero, up to 5 stacks. Then the hero deals 500% fire damage to the enemy with the most stacks of burn. Ultimate deals 620% attack fire damage to nearby enemies. If enemies possess burn, the hero additionally gains 20% attack up for 10 seconds. The burn inflicted by fire and stone ignores resistance in the next 15 seconds. That is the passive. Inspirations. Inspiration 1, the hero takes 20% less crit damage. Inspiration 2, the hero gains 15% damage bonus when their HP is higher than 85%. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, attack plus 30%. And Inspiration 5 ignores 15% of the target's defense. Each stack of inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Halramar, Dark Mane. He is a poison element hero, support type. Increases all allies' resistance by 50 in all battles for his aura. Passive. As the battle starts, summons Dark Cloud. Halramar cannot gain extra attack speed, but Dark Cloud will launch additional attacks following Halramar's basic attacks. Dark Cloud has a 10% chance to inflict buff prohibition on enemies for 5 seconds. The chance of inflicting buff prohibition by Dark Cloud depends on Halramar's resistance. Every 10 resistance increases the chance by 1%. When Halramar is on the battlefield, enemies' ultimate energy obtained through skills and artifacts will be reduced by 80%. Dark Cloud is his summon that deals 100% attack poison damage following Halramar's basic attacks. Battle skill commands Dark Cloud to deal 350% attack poison damage to the enemy with the highest attack, with a 75% chance to inflict attack penalty 2 on them for 5 seconds, and a 100% chance to inflict oriented taunt on them for 3 seconds. Attack penalty 2 reduces attack by 50%. Oriented taunt, this unit is forced to launch basic attacks on the enemy with the highest max HP. Ultimate deals 700% attack poison damage to all enemies with a 75% chance to inflict recharging speed penalty and oriented charm on them for 10 seconds. Enemies' ultimate energy will be reduced by 20%. Recharging speed penalty reduces the recharging speed by 30%. An oriented charm forces the target to launch basic attacks on the ally with the lowest max HP. Inspirations. Inspiration 1, the hero takes 20% less critical damage. Inspiration 2, upon being hit by an enemy, reduces the hero's damage taken from that enemy by 1%, up to 15 stacks. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, resistance plus 50. And Inspiration 5 ignores 35% of the target's resistance. Each stack of inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. Calavera, Jinxed Dancer. She is the exclusive hero of the season for the special event. Support type unit, poison element. Passive. When casting a skill, a temporary illusion is briefly generated at the hero's location. This illusion will follow the hero as they cast and produce additional effects. Battle skill. Dispels 1 debuff from each nearby ally and grants recovery over time to them for 5 seconds. Illusion spellcasting has a 75% chance to dispel 1 buff from each nearby enemy, with a 50% chance to inflict charmed on them for 3 seconds. I'm not sure if this is a special charm. It is marked in yellow instead of purple, and they don't have a description. Ultimate. Heals all allies by 550% defense and grants them defense up for 10 seconds. Illusion spellcasting deals a 510% attack poison damage to all enemies with a 100% chance to inflict attack penalty 2 for 10 seconds. Inspirations. Inspiration 1, when taking damage equal to 20% of the hero's max HP, has a 50% chance of dispelling one debuff on the hero. The skill only takes effect once during a period. Inspiration 2, when healing an ally with less than 50% HP, it grants 1 stack of healing over time for 8 seconds. This skill only takes effect during a period, once during a period. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, HP plus 30%. And Inspiration 5 has a 35% chance to get immune to the control being inflicted. Each stack of inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Moshtar, Tiger in Crown, Lightning Element, Defense type hero. Aura increases all allies' max HP by 45% in Grand Gladiator Arena. Passive. As the battle starts, grants Great River's favor to the ally with the highest crit damage. The ally under Great River's favor gains a 10% max HP shield for 5 seconds when taking damage, and Moshtar takes 60% of that damage instead. This effect only takes effect once every 12 seconds. Whenever taking damage for the ally, Moshtar recharges his ultimate energy by 20% and has a 100% chance to inflict taunt on the enemy with the most ultimate energy for 3 seconds. If Moshtar's HP is higher than the enemy's, the debuff inflicted cannot be resisted. In Taunt, the unit's forced to launch basic attacks on the Taunt caster. Battle skill. Deals 240% attack and 8% max HP lightning damage to the enemy with the most ultimate energy and reduces their ultimate energy by 20%. If the enemy's ultimate energy is still higher than 50% after being reduced, there's a 100% chance to inflict stun on them for 5 seconds. If Moshtar's HP is higher than the enemy's, the debuff inflicted cannot be resisted. After Moshtar and the ally under Great River's favor will choose this enemy as the target to attack. Ultimate strikes the enemy 3 times, with each strike dealing 200% attack and 4% max HP lightning damage. The first strike has a 100% chance to inflict attack penalty for 10 seconds. The second strike has a 100% chance to inflict recharging speed penalty for 10 seconds. The third strike has a 100% chance to inflict accuracy penalty 2 for 10 seconds. If Moshtar's HP is higher than the enemy's, the debuff inflicted cannot be resisted. Grants control immunity and crit hit resistance for 10 seconds to all allies. If the enemy is defeated or possesses 3 or more debuffs, Moshtar grants a 12% max HP shield to the allies under Great River's favor. Control immunity is immune to all control effects, and crit damage resistance or crit hit resistance increases the chance of resisting crit damage by 50%. Inspirations. Inspiration 1. The battle skill will inflict stun on the target regardless the 50% ultimate energy prerequisite. Inspiration 2. When the hero's HP is below 60%, heals the hero by 1% max HP per second. Inspiration 3. Duration of debuffs inflicted by ultimate skill is increased by 30%. Inspiration 4. HP plus 30%. And Inspiration 5. The hero gains control immunity for 5 seconds upon triggering the passive skill. Each stack of inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Orphena, Thunder inspired. It's the Thunderbolt hero with a lightning element. Aura increases all allies' enlightenment by 60 in all battles. Passive: when dealing damage to enemies with basic attacks, there's a 75% chance to refresh their electrocuted and launch Thunderbolt at them once. Thunderbolt triggers electrocuted damage at once. Electrocuted invokes a lightning chain at the carrier's position every 4 seconds, dealing 35% attack lightning derivative damage to the carrier and up to 4 additional targets. Battle skill: strikes the enemy 3 times, each dealing 175% attack lightning damage and having a 60% chance to inflict electrocuted on them for 6 seconds. When enemies under electrocuted, this damage ignores 30% of their defense. The ultimate: enters overload state and gains attack speed up 2 for 15 seconds. While in the overload state, basic attacks can shoot 2 extra bullets to deal 300% attack lightning damage, with each bullet prioritizing different targets. Attack speed up 2 increases attack speed by 50%. Inspirations: Inspiration 1. Damage dealt to enemies with a shield is increased by 20%. Inspiration 2. The hero gains a 15% damage bonus when their HP is higher than 85%. Inspiration 3. Crit rate plus 10%, crit damage plus 20%. Inspiration 4. Attack plus 30%. Inspiration 5 ignores 35% of the target's resistance. Each stack of inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Shala, an aura hero, the radiant element. Don't ask me to say the word at the top, that's not happening. Attack aura increases all allies' attack by 30% in all battles. Passive: enters the blaze state when possessing 100 aura energy. When aura allies consume aura energy, recharges 5% ultimate energy and gains 1 stack of crit damage up to the aura ally with the most attack, and Shala herself up to 20 stacks. This effect can only be triggered once every 5 seconds. Blaze consumes aura energy when casting skills to enhance skills effects without gaining more aura energy in the process. Battle skill: gains 15 aura energy and deals radiant damage to the enemy and nearby enemies. The hero gains 10 extra aura energy when hitting only 1 enemy, while in the blaze state consumes 5 aura energy and deals additional 4% target max HP radiant damage. No more than 200% of the hero's attack. Ultimate: the hero gains 30 aura energy and releases an energy wave that can bounce between enemies up to 4 times. Each bounce deals 350% attack radiant damage to them. If the energy wave does not bounce after being released, 40% of the consumed ultimate energy will be returned, while in the blaze state consumes 20 aura energy to deal extra 5% target max HP radiant damage, and the number of bounds is increased up to 6 times. Inspiration: Inspiration 1. Damage dealt to the enemies with a shield is increased by 20%. Inspiration 2. The hero gains 15% damage bonus when their HP is higher than 85%. Inspiration 3. Crit rate plus 10%. And crit damage plus 20%. Inspiration 4. Attack plus 30%. And Inspiration 5 ignores 15% of the target's defense. We have Yafir, New Leaf, Support Hero, the Radiant Element. increases all allies' crit damage by 45% in Grand Gladiator Arena battles for his aura. Passive: for every 15 times of damage dealt or taken by the hero and his clones, they will enter an undispellable invisibility for 3 seconds. A clone will be summoned at the same time. As the battle starts, gains invisibility and summons a clone. Up to 5 clones on the battlefield at one time. Battle skill: places a clone near the enemy with the highest attack. Deals 300% radiant damage to the nearby enemies with the clone as the center, with a 100% chance to inflict taunt on them for 3.5 seconds. Ultimate: jumps to the target area and deals 640% radiant damage to enemies within range, with up to 100% chance to inflict attack penalty on them for 10 seconds. Meanwhile, the hero gains attack speed up 2 for 10 seconds, and enhances his basic attacks for 12 seconds. In this period, basic attacks deal 75% attack radiant damage to enemies twice, and heal the hero and all clones by 5% max HP. Inspirations: Inspiration 1, the times of damage dealt or taken to summon a new clone reduced to 10. Inspiration 2, when the hero's HP is below 60%, heals the hero by 1% max HP per second. Inspiration 3, duration of buffs and debuffs inflicted by ultimate skill is increased by 50%. Inspiration 4, HP plus 30%. And Inspiration 5, the upper limit of clones on the battlefield changes to 7. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. Feliciberta, Weaver. Support hero, Ice Element. Her aura increases all allies' attack by 45% in Grand Gladiator Arena battles. Passive: as the battle starts, inflict Datura Mark on the enemy with the highest attack. When the enemy under Datura Mark dies, reselects a target. When enemies under Datura Mark gain a buff, reduces the recharge time of the hero's battle skill by 20%, and the hero recharges ultimate energy by 20%. This skill only takes effect once every 5 seconds. Battle skill: moves to the enemy with the highest attack, removes their shield, and steals 1 buff from them, dealing 200% attack and 200% enlightenment cold damage. This skill ignores 50% of the enemy's resistance. When hitting enemies under frozen, the hero steals their shield instead of removing it. Ultimate: deals 500% attack, 500% enlightenment cold damage to enemies within range, with up to 100% chance to inflict frozen on them for 5 seconds. This effect ignores 20% of enemies' resistance. The frozen inflicted by this skill also blocks the enemies from resurrection upon death. Inspirations: Inspiration 1, the hero takes 20% less crit damage. Inspiration 2, upon being hit by an enemy, reduces the hero's damage taken from that enemy by 1%, up to 15 stacks. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, accuracy plus 50. And Inspiration 5 reduces the battle skill's initial recharge time by 3 seconds. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Miro, the Map Master, Ice Blast Hero, Ice Element, of course. Passive: if the hero possesses ice crystals, after releasing the battle skill, he consumes 1 stack of ice crystal and releases the battle skill again. When attacking enemies, every stack of map pin the hero has grants the current attack extra 20% crit damage. When attacking enemies with full stacks of map pin, ignores 60% of their defense. The hero's basic attacks will attack enemies with the most map pin first. A map pin is a special debuff The wearer takes an extra 20% crit damage of Miro's damage up to 5 stacks. Battle skill deals 300% cold damage to the enemy and inflicts 1 stack of map pin on them. Ultimate deals 810% cold damage to the enemy and converts 25% of the damage dealt to the hero's HP. Every stack of map pin on the enemy increases the conversion ratio by 5%. Inspirations. Inspiration 1 heals the hero by 8% max HP after killing an enemy. Inspiration 2, the hero gains 15% damage bonus when their HP is higher than 85%. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, attack plus 30%. And Inspiration 5 has a 35% chance to get immune to control to be inflicted. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. Perseus, Hexapod Prayer. Necrotic Element, support type hero. Aura increases all allies' max HP by 30% in all battles. Passive, basic attacks deal damage twice. When dealing damage to enemies with skills, there is a 100% chance to inflict Fallen Poison up to 30 times. Fallen Poison, each stack decreases attack by 1% and attack speed by 1.5%. Battle skill deals 100% attack necrotic damage to nearby enemies 4 times and reduces their ultimate energy by 25%. Ultimate rushes to an enemy and strikes them 12 times, each dealing 70% attack necrotic damage. There's a 100% chance to dispel all buffs from them, with up to 100% chance to inflict stun on them for 5 seconds, and 100% chance to inflict buff prohibition on them for 10 seconds. The hero gains 30% max HP healing simultaneously. The enemy's HP limit will be reduced by 20% of the damage dealt, no more than 40% of the enemy's max HP. This is invalid for bosses. The enemy with the highest attack will be attacked first. Inspirations. Inspiration 1, the hero takes 20% less crit damage. Inspiration 2, upon being hit by an enemy, reduces the hero's damage taken from the enemy by 1%, stack up to 15 stacks. Inspiration 3, skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4, HP plus 30%. And Inspiration 5, when inflicted with control, reduces its duration by 50%. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. We have Astyon, Sun Shader, Necrotic Support Hero. Increases all allies' defense by 45% in Grand Gladiator Arena battles for the aura. Battle skill. As the battle starts, the hero has a 100% chance to inflict silence for 10 seconds on the nearest enemy and steals 30% of their HP and 30% of their defense. 50% of the stolen attributes will be transferred to the ally with the highest attack. HP stolen should not exceed 100% of the hero's max HP. Battle skill. Deals 310% attack necrotic damage to enemies within range, with a 50% chance to inflict stun for 3 seconds. Grants crit hit resistance to the ally with the highest attack for 5 seconds. The hero recharges ultimate energy by 5% upon hitting one enemy. Stun prevents the target from launching basic attacks or casting skills. Ultimate summons a domain that lasts for 10 seconds at a target's location, dealing 60% necrotic damage to 60% attack necrotic damage to enemies within range every 1 second. Heals all allies by 3.5% max HP simultaneously every second. When enemies within range gain a buff, there's a 40% chance to replace the buff with a random debuff. The debuffs include attack penalty, buff prohibition, recharging speed penalty, and healing prohibition. Inspirations. Inspiration 1 reduces the hero's damage taken by 20% when under control. Inspiration 2 recharges the hero's ultimate energy by 15% when taking damage over 20% of the hero's max HP. Takes effect once every 20 seconds. Inspiration 3 skill haste plus 30. Inspiration 4 accuracy plus 50. And Inspiration 5 increases the duration of debuffs or control effects inflicted with passive skills by 30%. Each stack of Inspiration increases HP, defense, and attack by 8%. Alright guys, that's all we have for those heroes. Which one sticks out to you the most? I'm really curious. Who are your favorites? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to download via Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games if you haven't already. And thanks again to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring today's video.